Mo here. Just going to give you a quick rundown of this settings panel, aka digital mixer program that came built in with my Tascam US 16:8. Up until recently, I haven't really used this thing much, and basically because the instructions weren't very clear, and I wasn't sure how any settings I input in here would affect what was going into Reaper, which is the DAW that I'm using for all my recordings right now. So anyway, I started experimenting with it and discovered that pre-recording I can adjust some of these settings and eliminate a little bit of the noise or distortion that I was getting mainly from the toms. Kick and snare and hats and cymbals were fairly good, but it was really bugging the crap out of me that the toms were coming in distorted. So again, the kick has a Sennheiser E602 second generation mic on it. The snare has a SM57, and the rest of the kit has the digital reference starter kit, DRD-KR7 or whatever the hell it is, the 7-piece starter kit, which do a decent job for a starter kit. The condensers are very, very impressive. On many occasions I've had to eliminate the tom mics and just go with the overheads, and was able to capture a decent overall kit sound with just the overheads. But I'd like to be able to get this close miking usable and get a good sound with all the mics from all the toms and so forth. So anyway, this is what I have to work with. You can see it's got 3 tabs here, one for the mixer, one for general information about the device. As you can see, it's not connected now, but it gives you a little diagram of the back end of the device, some MIDI inputs and outputs, some line ends and so forth, and then this buffer size that you can adjust. I assume I've never messed with that. If the device was connected, it'll populate all this crap here. And then this here, I was experimenting with this earlier. Don't really know what this does. I'm assuming that I can reroute some channels to a master bus if I wanted to. At least the back, the line inputs, I'm assuming. Yeah, line 9 through 10, 6 and 11 through 16. Oh, there you go. Well, the mics are only 1 through 8 on the front of the interface, and I guess the rest are on the back. I think I have 1 or 2 maybe on the front, I'm not sure. So anyway, kind of a little schematic where you can visually change how you want some of these line outs routed. But I haven't messed with this yet, so I'm not quite experienced enough to know what I'm doing with these settings just yet. My main focus for this session is to focus on these individual channels and figure out what some of this stuff does here. So to activate a channel, you select analog 1, and then if I want to do EQ, I'll select EQ, and you can see then the EQ graph is highlighted, and then I can adjust certain frequencies highs, lows, mids, eliminate, or add, or whatever. I get this part of it. I don't understand this part of it here. Okay, so what's the difference if I add this, if I increase this frequency and this here? Is it doing the same thing? I don't know. So does that mean I want to get the highs, I want to bring down the highs on this frequency? Okay, I don't know how these correlate to each other. So I kind of get this portion of it. I haven't quite figured out what this does yet. Phase, I haven't really messed with. I don't think I've had a need to mess with phasing so far. I've got my mics decently placed, so I don't think I understand what phase is. I don't think there's a conflict or an issue with mics phasing each other out. So we went over the EQ, compression. You can see when I click on the compression button here, toggle it on and off, it'll enable my compression section. I've adjusted the toms a little bit. I kind of understand what compression does, and it's helped out with the distortion a little bit. And I can kind of mess with this and bring it down. And I guess if the mic can't handle a certain amount of SPL, it'll cut the wave, I guess, to eliminate the distortion if it gets too loud. If I'm understanding that correctly, I'm not quite sure. Haven't quite figured out what the attack versus the threshold. Well, the threshold I kind of get, but not sure how the attack setting correlates to all this. Attack versus release, and then the ratio. I just kind of guesstimated and put them all at like 3.5 to 1 or something like that. Gain, okay, gain is gain, I guess. Don't know what the difference is between this gain versus turning up this volume here, or the gain on, this volume here, or the gain on the master versus the gain on the interface. I'm assuming I can keep the interface gain down a little bit. I think I got them all set to 1 or maybe 1.5, not much more than that. And bring this gain up, or this volume up a little bit. And then I can always mess with whatever volume window I have left over in post-production after the recording. So all my toms, let's see if we go to a tom, I think I had them all. Oh, this is a different, using a different computer here. I was using a laptop to record, so the settings on here are, oh, here we go. Toms, yeah, all the toms were at, thought I had them at -15 on the other computer. So, yeah, they're all out of whack right now. Yeah, I think this was the setting that I went with on all the toms. So the first 8 analog strips here, or channels here, correlate to the mic inputs on the mic inputs on the front of the Tascam. And actually these are incorrect, because I've got these daisy chained and they're not on 9 and 10. These are actually on 15 and 16 on the back side. So left overhead and right overhead. So these off. And I usually mute just for my personal information, whatever channel I'm not using. So we'll pan that all the way left, pan that all the way right, all the way right. There we go. And yeah, so let's save this. The new configuration. There we go. So that looks more accurate. So anyway, I've got these two are on a separate interface, daisy chained to line ends into the big Tascam 16x8. These are coming in just off a little 2x2. And that's it. So before, I didn't have the 8-tom mic'd, and that freed up a slot for the left and right overheads, and before that I didn't have a specific condenser mic for the hi-hats. So I just had these two condensers, and then everything you see here. The phantom power is set up on sets of 4 channels, so I can toggle a button on and off, and that'll supply phantom power to channels 1 through 4, and or another button to toggle phantom power on channels 5 through 8. And these, I think a couple of these are on the front, and the rest of these are on the back with some other media interfaces. So here's the back of the panel. This is what that looks like. It's too small to see. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so they're all on the back. I guess I got phones on the front, whatever. And levels for these pairs right here. So yeah, I got the 2x2 coming in into a line in on 15 and 16 right here. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I did the sound check videos 1 through 5 with some of these activated, and actually spent some time tweaking some of these settings, not really knowing what I'm doing, just kind of winging it as I go along. And then because of the type of room I have, I can't sound check right there on the spot accurately, so I have to make some settings, record, go back and listen to it, and then make any adjustments as needed. So for a one-man show, that gets pretty tedious, time-consuming, frustrating if you don't know what you're doing, as in my case. So anyway, thanks for watching. That's pretty much my overview of the Tascam settings panel, aka mixer, and we'll go from there, man. I'll keep you guys posted, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully my next video I'll get some snippets of some recordings that I did with some of these settings, and we can do like a before and after or something like that, and see the results and compare the results. Thanks again. All the best. Cheers.